Morning, everyone. I'm taping this on Wednesday morning before Mother's Day. It's about 7:30 in the morning here. You just saw me go ahead and pick some of my chive. I'm going to do another video on that you guys can watch where I show you how it's really not much to it, but I'm going to dehydrate it and show you guys how to make a powder out of how to make seasoning that's going to last for the whole year. You can use it as toppings. You can use it as garnish, or even to make like a sour cream and onion dip, things like that. Sour cream, chives, chips, seasoning, all that stuff. It's really good to have all these seasonings that you can get from your garden when you can. So I'll show you guys that. But here's the thing about Mother's Day, right? I'm in Zone 6B, just outside of Chicago. A lot of people still debate whether it's 6B or 5A or 5B, because Chicago is a different technically zone than us. So technically our last frost was a few days ago. The rest of the city, the rest of the area around us going north is technically May 15th, but a lot of us just default to that May 15th point. But more so than that, more so than May 15th, what a lot of people default to is Mother's Day. Mother's Day for gardening is that day, and I don't know what it is about it, but it sort of just fits in the middle, and it's when you can start your garden for a lot of people. And this week is super important to get your plants in. I looked at the weather here in Chicagoland, and our nights right now are still hitting in the 40s. So I do have some stuff out, but our nights are hitting in the 40s. But after next week, we're going to be in the 50s and 60s for the nights. So summer weather for those pepper plants, tomato plants, things like that is going to be ready. Now, here's one thing to remember, though. If it has been colder than normal, you have to remember that it's really the temperature of the soil that's going to decide whether or not your pepper plants and tomato plants take off. So don't rush them in necessarily. You're going to have plenty of time. As long as you get it in the next few weeks, it'll be okay. I have actually started to get my plants in. But yeah, I got a little hummingbird. See if I can get it actually. These things are hard to catch. They're so small, they're hard to catch. I don't know if I got that or not. We'll see. If I did, I'll add it to the video. If not, I apologize for the break. But so yeah, so a lot of people are putting plants out a little bit before. Again, I just started last week, because our frost, technically last frost date's May 1st. So I'm starting to put some stuff out. But frankly, if you are in these areas like a 5A, 5B, 6B, there are things that should already be in your garden. My lettuce, my brassicas have been in the garden for over a month now. Carrot seeds were started back in March. Same thing with onions. Those should have been in your garden end of March, early April. So that way they have time to bulb up and to grow the proper way. So we're at a point now where things are really starting to come back. Again, like I said, my brassicas are growing. I'll show you those in a second. The leafy greens are growing. I got spinach coming up that I planted from seeds last month. And then even our vines, you know, I just bought that cherry tree, if you watch my other video, or cherry bush, I should say. The cherries on there are starting to get red. My raspberry bush is starting to flower. So hopefully in another month or so, we'll have an abundance of raspberries. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. So what I'm going to do right now, actually, while we talk, is prepare my peppers. A lot of these are going in this weekend, but I want to make sure that they're ready. And by being ready, what I mean by that is, so here is my, what is this? This is a cayenne pepper. Mine got a little leggy, as you can tell, but I'm going to bury them a little bit deeper. What I want to do is take off these bottom leaves, just so that there's no issue with the soil, nothing coming from them that's going to be negative. Sometimes if you don't take these off, you'll get some soil-borne illness and things like that from there. So that way I can actually bury it a little bit deeper. That way it holds better in the wind. We are in the windy city, of course. So it'll hold better in the wind and do a little bit better. So this is how I do it. I'm just going through my peppers, and if they have any bottom leaves, these guys don't. They already took care of themselves there. Again, these guys do. So we're gonna go and just take off the bottom layers. Let's come down here. There we go. So we're just gonna go around here. And again, any of these little bottom nodes, we'll take off. And the reason I'm doing this today, we're gonna plant again probably this weekend, but I wanna do it at least a few days before so that these are actually gonna cause wounds in the plant. So you're actually hurt, if I cut off something of yours, an arm or something like that, it would hurt. Same thing for these plants. So you want to give a few days for these plants to just feel better and to heal up, really just to mend everything, to let everything sort of feel better before they go in the garden. So you want to do this a few days before, and that way you're all set. So pruning peppers, huge. I got a few more to go, but what do we do with these guys? These are going to go into our compost pile, the leaves, and then that compost is going to go into, we're putting in new beds this year. So right now my garden is not looking the best because we built one of the beds and we still have to build the other bed. So I'll take you for a look at on May 6th, when I'm taping this, how the gardens are looking. And all right, so we just pruned that guy. Here's the rest of the pepper plants I have. And then the big jalapeno, if you've been watching my videos, you know about the one that we overwintered from last year. An extra broccoli that I didn't have room to plant. I always have extras because you never know when something's not going to take. Someone's going to die during transplant. But that guy will probably sit here until someone comes and takes it. Got some pumpkins that are going to go in. All right, so this is my second year with this grapevine. It is not doing so well. I think it started to green a little too early and then got bit by frost from what I'm reading. But trying to nurse it back to health. If anyone has any ideas, let me know. And then here is my beast of a hop plant. It's been producing hops for me. I make craft beer or homebrew beer, whatever you want to call it. And this guy has been producing a ton of hops the last 4 or 5 years. All right, here is garden bed number 1. Again, we're going to put garden bed number 2 right there. We got to build it still, but got our carrots that need to be thinned out now that they're starting to grow. Some spinach, our lettuce, and then our brassicas, along with some peas that are back there. That are starting to grow and catch on to those hooks. Got a little bit more brassicas in that raised bed there. And I got to figure out what I'm going to do back here. It's all like some new areas for me. Asparagus. We've been eating that all spring. Hop over here. These are going to be potatoes in these grow bags along with some onions. So we're growing them together. And then here is the cherry tree that we planted. You guys can see it's actually they're starting to turn red. Hopefully we have some cherries to pick soon here. So we got a lot more to go and a lot more to get to here this spring, but it's going to be a fun summer as this place, right now it's a mess as we're trying to build everything, but in another few weeks here, this is going to look really pretty, especially once I start getting flowers in and things like that. Will make it look really nice.